you so much for being here, everybody. And I'm happy to guide you through the inner peace drawing process tonight or today, wherever you are in the world. It's tonight for me. I am a guide for mothers who look to reconnect with themselves. And I normally offer this kind of workshop to mothers in women's circle or in other women or mother groups in my own workshops. And today I am delivering this session on behalf of the School of Humankind. And the School of Humankind is a place where we look for expansion, connection, and belonging. And I hope that this experience, if you're not a mother, is going to be an experience of expansion of your knowledge and your world. And if you are joining as a mother, I hope it's going to be a place for connection for you. And I'm really happy to guide you through this inner peace drawing. This drawing method is designed to express emotional turmoil and to find balance through art. And it's a combination of meditation, breath work, and art therapy tools. And today I'm not going to explain all those different parts in detail, just for the sake of time, but I want to tell you briefly how I came to do this work. And as I'm talking to mothers, I am a mother of 3. And about a year after the birth of my second child, I had to realize that I felt pretty discontent, really unhappy, and I was somehow no longer able to answer the question of what I really enjoyed, what I actually wanted, and what I like. And I felt somehow separate from this person, from this woman I had been before I had my children. And I was in a state of just waiting to go back to this feeling of normal, to go back to feel like I felt before. You could say I was waiting to feel normal again. And because over time, like very slowly, I had become a person I kind of did not enjoy being anymore. And I realized that I had poured almost all of my energy into my children and into my family. And I barely recognized the faint version of myself that I had become. And I, at this time, described it as this very heavy jumble of emotions sitting in my chest that I did not know how to express and how to put into words. And of course, I had expected that with the arrival of the children in my world, that things would shift, that things would change. But what I did not expect was this shift within myself, this shift in personality. So I was able to manage like all the outer changes, and it did change big time, right? If you have a child and you know that this is going to turn your whole world upside down. And I had this practical part together. So I knew how to change nappies. I could prepare the baby food. I was able to fold the pram, like no problem. But I had no idea how to navigate this inner shift, this inner change. And on top of it, I was ashamed to admit this. I felt very alone in this experience. So at this time, I started using my art to navigate my inner world. I've been a creative all my life, but I started using it kind of as my own therapy, because the free expression and just creative work helps us balance and relax, and it helps us to know and understand ourselves better. And this is what I did. And just when I started to feel like on stable ground again, I became pregnant with my 3rd child. So, of course, I was able to use this creative practice now, and I was able to catch myself quicker than before. But it made me somewhat suspicious. So when I first went through this phase, I was like, okay, I'm a first-time mom. I just don't know how to do it. It's just, I have to learn this. But going through the pregnancy with my third child, I realized that there was something more going on. So I started researching, I started talking to a lot of people, I started questioning a lot of responses of like, this is just normal, or like, it's no big deal, or just, how do they say, like, just move through it, it will go back to normal. And in the term of the, or in the, how do you say this, like in my subsequent research, I came across the term matrescence. And finally, I had a word that described what I was experiencing. And I don't know if you have ever heard the word matrescence. Matrescence, and I'm going to read this from my notes because I always forget something. Matrescence is the term for the complete transformation and identity shift of a woman as she moves through motherhood. Psychologically, social, emotional, physical, economic, cultural, and spiritual. So there is this complete shift, there is this complete turnover of your world. And it is described as a developmental process. And every woman is going through this when she's moving through pregnancy every time. So this is what I was experiencing with my third child. I had experienced before, but I had no word and no language around to talk to other people, and they did not have either. So unfortunately, we do not talk about it. And I think if I had known that this is a common experience, I would have been able to navigate it differently. I would have been able to consciously create my new identity as a mother. Because what I did was just very being a good girl, living up to all the social standards, and kind of taking on this good mother personality that is what we think is the mother archetype. And this was working pretty well, but I have this nagging feeling inside, and just this feeling as if I'm going to suffocate in a way. And for today, I would love for you to leave knowing that all those inner shifts, if you are a mom, if you are experiencing this transformation from maiden to mother, they are called matrescence. They are normal, and they include feeling lost. They include feeling overwhelmed. They include feeling disconnected and unstable. And I want you to know this because I know how difficult it is to admit all of those feelings and emotions, because they go against everything what we believe we should feel as mothers. So I wish for you to leave today knowing that you're not alone, knowing that there is a way. It's not every mother's path is going to look the same, but there is a map. And I wish for you to, after today's session, have a first tool to release this inner chaos and find a way to navigate through it, to find balance. So this is what we're going to do today now. And you should have 2 sheets of paper and a pen, at least. That's the bare minimum you need to go through this session. So first, I want to give you a very easy exercise to warm up. You take your first sheet of paper and make yourself comfortable in your chair. And I want you to draw a figure 8 on your paper. I hope you can see this, just like this, very simple. And while I am talking now, you can just trace this line. You can use your right hand, you can change and then also use your left hand or just the other hand, the opposite hand, while I give you some information about the following process. So I just invite you to keep drawing while I talk. So we will first go through a relaxation process before we start the drawing. We will systematically relax the body and connect with our inner world so that you're able to access and release your emotions. So there are a few things I want to tell you in advance so you don't get irritated. First thing is, you're going to draw with your eyes closed. We will go through the relaxation and we will then just start painting or drawing while in this state. So you need to have your paper and your pen ready so that you can find it without opening your eyes and without having a look. This is just to quiet our rational mind, to just kind of eliminate this inner judgment, because we're just going to draw lines. You can call it scribbles, lines. It's not supposed to be beautiful or in a masterpiece of any sorts. So don't worry if you kind of exit the paper when you draw and you realize, oh, I think I went over the border. Please keep your eyes closed and move back. You can use your other hand to feel the edges of the paper. And the next thing is, so if you are doing this for the first time, it can be difficult to start. It can be difficult to access your inner world. So don't worry if you need some time, just give yourself time. If you have a hard time to express what your needs and emotions are in life, then it might also be challenging to draw from this place. So we're not in a hurry. Just give yourself time and I'll hold space for you. And then there's another thing that when we finally open up and when we finally start expressing what's inside, there sometimes is this tendency that we kind of jump from one thing to the next thing. So if we are now turning inside, then I'd ask you to kind of have one thing in mind. For mothers, I normally ask them to think about their role as a mother, how they feel in their role of mother. And we take this in mind and in heart while we're drawing. And then there is a moment of pause or emptiness. And this is the moment when we stop the drawing so that we do not kind of jump on to another theme or another topic. Because sometimes like our soul takes advantage of the moment when we finally open up and it brings up one thing after the other. And we do not want to overwhelm ourselves. So when you feel like a pause, an emptiness, or like that you're there, like you arrived, then just stop. This is the moment to stop. So last thing, when you are finished, please take a moment before you open your eyes. Get in a state of curiosity and compassion and try not to judge the lines you see. When you open your eyes, just follow those lines with your eyes and try to take them into your heart, like seeing it through your heart. Okay. If there are any questions, you can let me know in the chat now. If not, please place your pen and paper in front of you so that you can find it without opening your eyes. Seems to be no questions. So I invite you to take a deep breath and close your eyes. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Ground yourself. Put your feet on the floor. And think about the topic you're going to draw. Think about yourself in the role as mother, or think about any other topic that is bothering you actually in your life, or where you would want some change to occur. Inhale and exhale in your own rhythm. Feel your body in the chair. Feel your head and your skull. And when you exhale, release all tension. Feel your face and relax all the muscles in your face. Feel even your tongue relaxing and all the little muscles around your eyes. Relax your neck and shoulders and down your arms and hands and fingers. Just relax and let it go. Feel your chest and stomach relaxing. Relax down your legs into your feet. And now imagine that a very bright light is coming from above and is entering your head through your crown chakra. It's going down through your head, through your throat, into your heart. And it's glowing in your heart as a very bright, vibrant light. And now go down with your awareness. Go down to your feet. And try to go down into the earth, into the center of the earth. And there's a deep orange, yellowish light coming from the center of the earth. It's coming all the way up from the center to your feet. And it enters your body through the sole of your feet. It's moving up your legs, into your pelvis, up through your core, and it's connecting to the bright light in your chest. And I invite you to take a deep inhale. Hold your breath just for a moment. And then exhale completely. Take another deep breath. Hold it just for a moment. And let it all go. And take a third and last deep breath. Hold it and let it all go. And put your awareness to the center of your chest, where you have those two energies. This very bright light coming from above, and this yellowish orange light coming from the center of the earth. And try to make this light even brighter and bigger. It's a very intense and bright light with a very high vibration. And with every inhale, you can see it getting a little bit brighter. And with the exhale, it expands. And you can just inhale, see it brighter. Exhale and expand it. And what I now want you to imagine is that there is a fine line of this light coming out of your chest. And you take your pen, keep your eyes closed, and you imagine this line of light coming out from your chest to the tip of your pen. And this line of light is guiding your pen. When you're ready, you can put your pen to paper. And you now move your pen on the paper while keeping this bright light in your chest. When you inhale, you focus on the light in your chest. And when you exhale, you move the pen. Don't think, just feel. And don't forget to breathe. You can breathe in your own rhythm. And make sure you keep breathing. Make sure you keep your attention in the center of your chest, while also feeling how the point of the pen moves over the paper. Maybe you feel the resistance of the paper. You hear the sound of the moving pen, while you still experience the vibrancy of the energy in your chest. And you keep moving over your paper until you feel like there's nothing left about this topic in your chest. You may feel calm. You may feel peaceful. You may feel complete, or as if you were there, or just empty. And I just want you to remind you that you take a moment before you open your eyes and you check in with your heart and connect to your center before you have a look at what you created. And you can just take your time to move the pen over the paper. Keep breathing and keep the attention in your chest on this light and the feeling in your chest. And as I cannot see if you're still drawing when I do this over Zoom, I would ask you to just raise your hand button when you are done with your painting and when you have had a first look at it. Keep breathing. Remember to keep breathing and to keep your attention in your heart. Sometimes we realize that our awareness is kind of going up, moving up into our head, and then we just want to pull it back down. I always place my hand over my chest so that I do not lose this connection. And I'll give you another minute to draw. And if you want to give me a sign with the raise hand button when you're done, I'd really appreciate this. then take your time to take those lines in with a lot of curiosity and compassion. It's okay to create a mess. That's what we want to get out. So it's okay if it's on the paper now. And we can just look at it and just embrace it before we start making changes. So this is what I created. I don't know if you want to share what you created or want to share in the chat what your experience of this process was. If it helped you to bring some of the heaviness out from your chest, because this is what we want to do, what the goal of this session or of this process is in the first place. So when I do those sessions with my clients, with the mothers, I create those lines with them, and we take our time to just look at them and accept what is, and practice kindness for ourselves. This is always the first step we do. So if you can just do this with your lines or for your lines. And I saw a message in the chat, and I'm sorry, I have to pull it up. It was a very quiet experience. I made almost no marks on the paper, which was nice. Yeah, I sometimes experience this for myself when there are two moments when this happens. Like the first thing is that it might be that I'm so blocked that I'm not able to express what is. So it takes me a lot of time and effort kind of to really bring it out. But I think what you described is like that you are able to go into this stillness. So there is no heavy jumble that wants to be expressed. So when you describe it as a very quiet experience, which was nice. That's amazing to hear. So when I have this sometimes very messy lines with my clients, I how do you say, like I dive into them together with them, and we look at it from an art therapy perspective. Sometimes we talk about it. Sometimes my clients are able to finally verbalize what is so heavy on their chest. And sometimes we just use the power of art and the creative tools to make changes to what we have on the paper. And we always gain some insight from this process. And the interesting thing of doing this is also that as soon as we start making changes on those lines, that they're coming from very deep within, from our subconscious, from the part of our brain that we normally don't access and that we have a hard time accessing through through words, like with the rational mind. So we're not able to put those into words. So we can bring it out through creativity, through art, and we can make changes through creativity and art. And without having to talk about it, it is going to have an effect on this region of our brain that might be stuck in some pattern maybe, or in some very heavy emotions that we are not able to access and to alter when we just talk about it. So this is the power of this method that I discovered for myself and that I had done with many women, many mothers. And I love doing this. Like I love doing the process. I also love doing then the transformation of those lines into a masterpiece. But we're not going to do this today. What you are leaving with is like the experience, the tool. You can do this whenever you want. You can kind of guide yourself through a relaxation and draw from this state. What you also can do is kind of put these lines up somewhere in your apartment, on the fridge, or wherever you see it, and just reflect on them. What are they telling you? You can take a nice notebook. Like I am an artist and I also produce my notebooks. So if you need a nice notebook, I got you covered. And just look at them and ask yourself, what do I want to change? What is really bothering me? And are there some lines I really like? And you can start making changes and see if those changes translate somehow into your life. So for tonight, we are done, I think, and it's about 40 minutes, which is amazing. Well, not even. So if somebody wants to share what the process was, and I see John is saying, I've been doing a lot of paintings that are very heavy, black, abstract. This was so empty. I really like the huge space. Yes, I feel with you. I'm doing a lot of heavy painting at the moment myself. Yes, and I also know this experience of space when you have this experience of space on your canvas, which is really nice. So if there are any questions, please bring them on. If not, I will stop the recording because I know it can sometimes be really scary to talk about this topic, especially the feelings of that you experience in motherhood that are not really common or not often talked about and often stigmatized and a bit taboo. So I will stop the recording and maybe there's something more that we can chat about. And otherwise, I hope to see you in another session of the School of Humankind. They have 2 free sessions a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And there is also an opportunity to work with me on the School of Humankind website. You can do private drawing sessions with me where we really focus on your unique personal topic. And we are also then going to make changes on the lines you produce and see how this is going to move you forward in your life. So thanks for being here and see you soon.